Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brave New Hollywood. I have very special guests with me here today, the filmmakers of Lady Driver. I'll start introducing the lady producers of the film. Ava Rettke, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, you got it.
Christine Moor, and director Shaun Paul Piccinino. Did I get all those right?
Mine's a little tricky. Piccinino.
Oh, Piccinino, like very Italian.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this interesting and action-packed movie you made. Tell us about Lady Driver and what it is about.
Go, Shaun.
Me first? Oh, I was going to say ladies first. It's Lady Driver. Ladies first.
Oh, nice try, Shaun.
Oh, no. Okay, I got really. Okay. Well, Lady Driver is about this fiery, amazing young woman who kind of goes on this journey to discover herself and also her learn about her past, her father who she never met, and also her uncle who's kind of estranged from the family. And through this journey, she obviously learns a lot of things coming of age, but she also becomes a race car driver, which kind of follows in the footsteps of her father and her uncle and even her mom. Her mom used to be involved in that world very heavily.
Hey, who the hell was driving?
Hey, why don't you bring that car by the shop and we'll see if we can't buff that out for you.
That was a girl.
I gotta tell you, you're turning out to be a gearhead.
I just want to know what my dad used to do. I mean, I could work here for you this summer.
Your mom would never go for that.
You don't know that.
The car you're looking at held the Petaluma Speedway record for quite some time.
How? You drop it from a plane?
There's the old man of yours. See what you can do. How did that feel?
Awesome.
You're a Lansing.
You should race again.
It's a young man's sport. I know that. I've accepted it.
What about a young woman?
Oh, boy.
Shaun did a great job of introducing it. I think girl power, girl power, girl power.
Yeah.
That's what the film is about. And I think that, you know, I've had so many people write to me after having watched it that they watched it with their young girls, they watched it with their teen girls, they watched it with their teen sons, that there's something for everyone. You know, girls rule, boys drool.
Can you talk about Grace Pandyan? Because, I mean, she shines on that screen. How did you find her? What does she bring to the project?
Hate to say it, Shaun, but I think this one's got to be you. Shaun's known her since she was a little girl. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we are all completely in love and feel grateful that we were graced with grace. But it's really Shaun for that.
Take it away, Shaun.
Well, I mean, we've all worked together and we had done other projects. And we had the privilege of also working with her father, who is Casper Van Dien. And I was lucky enough to work on another project with Casper before these projects. And so I knew him and I knew Grace through him, you know, and his family. And I had seen her work and I had seen her growth and how amazing of an actress she was becoming. And when we first started talking about this script, and then I started seeing the pages on the script, and actually, I can't take full credit. Casper, of course, pitched daughter for this. First off, like that was, you know, he was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys should look at my daughter for this." And then, of course, I backed him up. I said, "Oh yeah, she's fantastic." And then once I saw the pages that John Ducey and Christine were busy writing, I just went, "Wow, you know what? It's not just that you know, I know Grace and you know, family, friends, and those kinds of things, and that we've all worked with Casper before, but it was that it felt like her, it sounded like her, and so I started getting on that train. Like, we've got to hire her. There was we still made her audition. We still made her come in for screen tests because there was a lot of amazing young women who auditioned for this. And certainly, there was more than one worthy candidate. But there was just something about her that just, I think, lit everybody up. I remember when we were screen testing her at Warner Brothers, that kind of everybody was like, oh yeah, she's just, there's that factor. It's like this undeniable thing that she brings across on the screen that you can't deny her. You know what I mean? And that's that girl power thing. It's, she's going to accomplish whatever she sets her mind to. And we all, I think, knew how important finding an actress that could bring that to this role, because it's everything.
Lady producers, lady driver, as producers, what were the challenges of making this film?
Ooh, Ava, I think this one's on you.
Well, I'll take this one. So this was my first film that I was like, had way more responsibility than I had in the past. I got really intimately involved in development. I had to learn what dirt circle track racing was. I had to like call our friends at the Lucases and say, tell me all about this. Like, I need to know the ins and outs of this world. And Shaun and Christine were shooting Roped, and I was up there to like help wrangle them to try to start developing Lady Driver. And I'm like on the phone all day with like different people, part of the racetrack teams. And I was like, okay, sure, I'm kind of getting it, I guess so. Like on a phone call, there's only so much you can really like learn watching videos, sure. And then one of Allie's friends from Petaluma happened to be visiting the set that day, and he's like, oh, I race circle track. And I was like, oh my gosh, tell me about it. And there happened to be a race that day and the next 2 days going on literally next door to where we were shooting. And so I ran over there, I got a camera, Shaun came over, we got another cameraman to come over to film some B-roll of some races, and I like learned so much more of the world within like those 2 days from this 10-year-old kid and going to the racetrack.
I was going to ask, because you talked about the independent aspect of it. The film looks very cinematic. It looks grand. So how much of that was a gift, or how much of that was pre-planned? Because it looks very beautiful and big.
I think if I can jump in, ladies, are you all right? I think that there's a bunch of factors that go into that. Number one, just like Ava was talking about, we had this incredible race world that came and volunteered a lot of their time. And we had the real race car drivers, the real teams out there really putting on the races. They allowed us into that world. They allowed us to film actual races in the circuit. And I think that helps with the scale of it. A lot of the shots you see in there, that's real audience, you know what I mean? Things of those nature help us with the scale. And then the other piece of that is obviously the acting. I think our entire cast was absolutely amazing. Adore every single one of our cast. I think they really brought the story to the next level. And then you have the DP, which is Ruben Steinberg, who he's just got that eye, and he knows how to shoot, especially when it comes to these action sequences, the racing sequences, the in-car stuff. We obviously were watching tape on real races. We were watching Days of Thunder. We were watching, all these kinds of things to try and look at the techniques and figure out how, and Ruben helped design, our whole team, production designers, art department, all of us worked together, creating this cool sliding rig back and forth, side to side, that could go in front of the actual cars. And that's what helped create some of the in-car action with lens flares. And the other part of working with Ruben on this was which kind of lenses we use, and what, the camera, of course, but also what kind of lenses and what kind of tricks we could pull off, and bringing in lens flares, like I said, streak filters and lens flares to give us that very cinematic Days of Thunder thing.
Sure.
I want to throw a big, a big round of applause to our entire crew. And, part of the magic of what we've been able to do is we had basically 90% of the same people on, 4 films in 1 year. So we were absolutely exhausting people. But what it did create was a shorthand and a real intimacy and and I think that this was the 4th in out of 4. And I think that Grace Van Dien brought an infusion of energy that was that girl, that like can-do attitude. But I never saw anyone ever like phone it in. It was creativity at its finest. I mean, if you look at Lady Driver, I would think one of the fun things to do would just be track how many different hairdos does Grace have. That is no small feat. That's a massive creative commitment from a hair person who could have been tired, I've done movies where they're like, you know what, you're having one look of hair because we're not going to take time to change it.
Yeah.
So if it is, how many different colors of eyeliner is she wearing? And that's in a race car movie. So you've got this massive creative commitment from wardrobe, hair, makeup, electric, camera, sound,
Wardrobe.
like that kind of can-do team attitude is the winning combination for a film of this size.
I was actually quite surprised at how many hair conversations we had for a race car movie.
For a race car movie, right?
It's important though, because we're trying to get the
Totally.
girls in it. We're trying to get the young girls. Because if I'm a young teenage girl, I care about my hair, but I also might want to go race a car. You can have both.
We got to frame the face. We got to frame the face with those hair, all that stuff.
Ellie.
Mom?
In what world, Tim, do I approve of Ellie Lansing racing a car?
I got it!
Well, no.
Or maybe I'm just not as good as you thought I was.
You're better than I thought you were.
So baby, bye-bye.
This place was our whole world. If we weren't racing, we were studying.
Is she really that good?
I wish I knew.
You do. He's in you.
This all matters to me. This is what I actually want.
Lady Driver wants to run with the big boys now, huh?
You're not scared.
A little scared you're gonna crash into them.
Can't crash into you if I'm ahead of you.
You got this, kid.
Thanks, Mom.
There is an intangible component that goes with every dream. Sometimes it's desire. Sometimes it's heart. But only you're gonna know where that is.
Here I come.